in Greece, I had this thing about, if you're my understudy, sorry, but you're never going on. Okay, you're never going on. So no matter what condition I was in, I would make sure that I could do the show, except for this one time, and we were in Toronto, and I don't know whether it was the water or what that was different. Something got me, and I got this little dysentery thing going on, and I'm in the middle of the hand jive, born the hand jive, baby, and boom, it lets loose, right? On stage. So now I'm still dancing. And the floor is getting a little, and the people around me are like, what is going on here? Luckily I had the black pants on, and then I said to the understudy, you're on, baby, for the second half, Yeah, that's it.
So, big round of applause, Greg Evigan.
All right. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Now, I wanted to make this before he got here, this announcement. Due to the SAG-AFTRA strike, can't really talk about particular shows or characters, but general questions, maybe even about monkeys, that is fine.
We'll work around whatever question you have. We'll rephrase for sure. So
we'll buy a vowel.
Yeah.
So before we get to your questions, which we'll have Tom run around and get, how did you get into acting?
I really started pretty young. I mean, I started in high school, really. That was my first inspiration on acting. I got into music first. I did, Mom played the piano, which was great, so she got me going on that when I was 8 years old. And then I studied classical piano. And by the way, anybody, go to the website, evigan.com. I got my... I recorded with the Royal Philharmonic Orchestra years ago. I finally got the album done. So if you want to get on there on the list, just put in your name. It'd be great to have you on there. So, but that was that was kind of the leftover inspiration from Mom, with the piano, because I kept playing that piano until I got in a band in high school, and then I got my Farfisa Combo Deluxe, organ. I started playing in the band, did that. So that gave me kind of the real love for the music. And then it was the plays after that. Then I got into plays, and that's the first inspiration on the acting, was doing those plays, Yeah,
I understand you were on Broadway. What was that like?
I was on Broadway, yes.
Played in Greece.
Yes, Greece. I started out with Jesus Christ Superstar. That was the first one. Yeah, anybody see that ever on the road? Yeah, good. Did you see it in New York, or did you see it on the road? Okay, good. Because I in 71, that's when I did it. In 71, 72. I did it for 71 on the road for a year, and then 72 on Broadway. And then went in for, got that Danny Zuko role in Greece. Yeah, how you doing? Yeah.
So do you ever do musical theater or live theater nowadays, or is it
No,
pretty
I
much...
did one. I haven't done much of that, but I did get... I did Chicago in 2005. So I played
Nice.
Billy Flynn in Chicago. Anybody ever see Billy Flynn in Chicago? You ever see anybody see Chicago? It was a great show. Yeah, they've been running that thing forever. God, yeah, we went all over the place. Went to Dubai. That was cool. That was skied Dubai. Who would think? Yeah, but that's the only one though. I did a couple plays in between, like Mousetrap and in a town. I think it was in Michigan somewhere. But no, mostly concentrated on the TV, the movies, and now a lot of music. So that's good.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah.
So 2 questions about a show that we will not name. But you were driving a big rig. Do you actually know how to drive? Do you have a license?
You mean if I were to drive one of those big things?
Yeah.
Yeah. I had the license. Yeah, I had the license.
you have
I
to
drove
renew.
it. Yeah, I drove it for the 3 years. And then if I was to drive a truck, I would drive that truck. That was a great truck. And
would you want a monkey in there with you?
if there was any time that I ever work with a monkey, it would be that monkey, because he was fantastic. Yeah, that monkey, I even had a monkey come to my wedding. Yeah. My wife wanted him to be, I wanted to be the ring bearer. My wife's like, No way. We're not getting that ring back. Forget it. Yeah.
Might eat it and then throw it at you later on after it processed.
Yep.
If you have questions, please raise your hand and Tom will come around. And if you don't, we will go through all my questions, which will not be nearly as good. So
I don't know about that.
Okay. Hopefully this is a safe one. It's related to TekWar. Did you read the books before you were on the show?
You mean if I was doing a show like TekWar, did I read the books? No, I never did. No. But I remember one time I had an audition with some guy that was in a movie with a TV show with a guy with the ears. You know, he had the funny ears and.
Did you enjoy working
with that guy?
With that guy.
That guy. Let me tell you, that guy, when he looked at me, he said, "You know, Greg, I think you're really going to be good for this part." I said, "Sit down. I don't want you to audition. I really don't want you to audition because I'm such a fan of your acting." I said, "Oh, well, thank you very much." And he goes, "So you think we can read a few lines?" I'm like, "Okay, whatever you want to do." And that was the day I got that role. So, but it was, but I never did. I didn't really know anything about it, to tell you the truth. And I'm not so sure they were out that long before.
It was a quick turnaround between the publication of those books
and
that we will not mention and the show that we will not mention.
Right. It's crazy that we have to talk around all this. Okay.
Yes. Question back there. Tom is going to get his steps in. Well, we're also recording for posterity, so.
Thank you. First of all, thank you for your time. I appreciate coming in.
All right.
Secondly, honoring the SAG-AFTRA issue, there's a specific movie that was involving a lot of water. Anything particularly challenging on the special effects with that, or something you said, I will never do that thing again?
Well, that thing was, we were at the bottom of the ocean on that. Pretty much the bottom of a tank, a big giant tank that was set up in a warehouse. You know, they got like a kind of a pick and save or something, you know. And so we were pretty much wet for a month. You know, we were wet for a month. It was crazy, and waterlogged. But luckily the water was warm. We had to fake that part, you know. Yeah, but what was your question again about? Oh, yeah, you know, I really had a great time doing that. You know, I had a great time doing that movie, and I remember there was 3 other movies at the time that were pretty similar, you know, so they had big budgets, and we didn't have as big a budget, but I think we did a pretty good job for what we had, and we called her Buffy, by the way, the creature, yeah, big crustacean that she was. Yeah, but it was fun. I loved it. No, it was tough being waterlogged for that long, but it was a good cast, and it was one of those that we really felt like we were making something that was pretty good at the time. So yeah, that always helps. Yeah, thank you.
So Greg, you've been in more comedic shows, more dramatic roles, more adventure. What do you like to do best? If you're going to look at a role and you have a choice between comedic and more action, adventure, drama, what do you pick?
I love both when the scripts are good. You know, it's having a good script is a great place to start. You know, and so there was a certain comedy I did that had another dad in it and that kind of thing, and that was a lot of fun because every day we got to laugh and we got to try to figure out what was going to be the funniest thing of all, you know, for the week, because, you know, you rehearse, you start on our show, we started on Wednesday. So we do a reading, you know, in the morning, everybody read the script, do a, you know, kind of a table reading. Then in that afternoon, you go and you put it on its feet and then you start seeing, you know, where the laughs are coming and where you think it's funny. And then by the end of 2 days, they got the network coming in, looking at you saying, that's not funny. That ain't funny, you know. And then they come in with the rewrites, and then you get the rewrites, and then you try to figure out. By the end of the week, you've kind of done a mini play. It's pretty much what you've done. You've done a mini play, and then on Monday we used to do our we used to do the blocking. We didn't do the tape yet. Then the next day we taped 2 live shows, and then you found out where the laughs were, because, for sure. Sometimes you get laughs in places where you never even think the laugh was going to come. Maybe it comes from not a line, but from behavior. So yeah. But I would say, comedy's great because it's a lot of fun. But if you get a great script and you get a great opportunity to do something that's different, a challenging role, and I love that too. So it's kind of a 50-50 on that one for me. Yeah.
All right. So understand, writing is important.
Yeah.
We have a question over here.
I just got an Apple commercial for one of my songs, so I'm happy about that. So anybody who knows me knows I've been into music for a long time. Hey, all right. Thanks, guys. Yeah. So that's going to come out around September, October. So it's a song I wrote called One Track Mind. And I wrote it with, in fact, Stan Bush, and I haven't met him yet, but he's been working with my partner, Lenny Macaluso, and we wrote that song together. And we wrote the theme song to My Two Dads together years ago. And so, it's going to be out in September. They took the chorus. I gave it to my son because he's in the music business. I don't know if you ever checked him out. He's doing really good. And so he got it in a writing session, and this band named Chromeo. Anybody hear Chromeo ever? Chromeo? Yeah, so Chromeo did it, and they put it on their album, and now they got the commercial with our song. So these are the way things go in these crazy circles. You never know how it's going to come to you, but happy about that. Once in a while, you get a bone, Yeah.
Yep, please wait for the mic.
Well, thank you for coming here. One question I had real quick, it was, when you were starting out and acting and stuff like that, what actors inspired you?
What actor inspired
What actor inspired you? What made you say, watch that person's movie and say, wow, I want to be just like that person?
That's easy for me. That was it was Robert De Niro. It was Al Pacino. That's Clint Eastwood. Of course, he was there too. In those days, because he was a guy that went from TV. So that's what the problem with me when I was in the beginning. It was like they say, oh yeah, he's great, but he's TV. He's TV. Whoop, hey, hello. He's TV. And so it was hard to make that crossover, but Clint Eastwood made the crossover. He made it, and Bruce Willis made it. So there weren't many people that made that crossover at the time. Now you can do anything. You can do it. It doesn't matter what you do. Yeah.
Thank you, Greg.
That's just a few, by the way. I'm sure there's more in the comedy world.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Your daughter also is an actress, so I know that when children of actors usually get into the business, some of them are supportive, others are just like, no, don't do it, or whatever. So when she did, were you one of those dads that was supportive and tried to give her some pointers and tips, or were you just kind of worried or apprehensive about her getting into the business?
Well, I have 2 daughters that are in the business, right? So,
Okay.
So Brianna, you might be talking about,
Yes.
but my daughter Vanessa, she's the one she was the oldest one, so she got in first, And I remember her showing this interest, and I'm thinking, oh, geez, here we go again, All right, what am I going to do? So, because the way it happened was, it's kind of funny. On a particular show when I worked with another dad, and I had a stage daughter. That show, they said one day, hey, anybody who's got kids, bring your kids in. We're going to do a scene, and we need all the kids we can get in this scene. And so I said, oh, well, I'm bringing the kids in, perfect. So I bought 2 of them in, Jason and Vanessa. Brianna was too young. And so they come in, and my daughter, first thing she's saying, on the way in the car, so Dad, now I'm going to get an agent. Okay, now I'm going to get an agent. I said, wait, calm down. Just let's see how it goes. You're going to be an extra today, okay, in this thing, in the scene. And she's not hearing anything I'm saying, And So we get there, we get the scene all lined up. The kids are in the scene, the whole thing. My daughter, she goes, the director comes up to me, goes, "Hey, Greg, your daughter, she's great. She's great, but can you tell her not to look in the camera?" So she's looking right in so you got to be a part of the scene, kid. She thought it was her close-up, It's my close-up, Mr. DeMille, So after that happened, it was great, the ride back. So then she's saying she's still talking about the agent. And I said, and I'm trying to think, how am I going to, I don't want her to get into this now. She's a kid. So I said, I'll tell you what, look, you get in a play, just get in a play, and we'll start like that. Get in a play and get it going and learn what it's like to be around, a group of actors. I think it was not even a week later. Dad, I'm in a play. I said, oh, really? I'm like a tree or something she's playing. I don't know what she was playing. And then, of course, that backfired because I had to start driving, to the practices, So, but she, she wants to, and then she got lucky because there was a big casting lady, Barbara Clayman. I was at a party, and she says, "Boy, I'll tell you, Greg, if you know any young actors, I sure could use them. We've looked all over." I said, "Well, yeah, what age?" She's 11. I said, "My daughter's 11." She said, "Well, bring her over tomorrow, because I got to get this cast." And I bring her over. She kills it. She gets the part, and that's how she got in, and that was it. She was on her way. So what was the question?
I guess if you were apprehensive, and you're probably a little protective and don't want her to be
I figured, what? It's in the stars, okay? If things happen the way they happen for reasons, and I never pushed it on them ever, never pushed it. So, but they all found their own way. They all liked it, So.
Yeah, I find a lot of actor parents are like, don't get in this business to their kids, but
because
because you know.
Yeah. Well, the rejection is the thing. Like that rejection is what you want to keep your kids away from in a way, because that it can really do some damage to you, and because they don't know how to handle it, they don't have the maturity. They're not, they're not mature enough to really handle that kind of rejection. And it's not you, kid. You just weren't right for the part. You know what I mean? You just didn't look right or whatever the reason was. But you take it personally. But go ahead, yeah.
You got to you were talking about working in Greece with Danny as Danny Zuko.
Yeah.
And then I believe you were directed by John Travolta at one point. I believe for when he first started directing.
No, but that's a great idea.
Oh.
No.
I was completely misinformed.
No, John was in the show with me. He was actually in the show.
Okay.
He played Duty. Yeah, he was playing Duty. We did, he came in as an understudy when we were doing the Chicago company, and he played Zuko in places. He played Duty. I think he was kind of doing a swing part for a while there, before he got cast as, Zuko in the movie. So, yeah. No, he was definitely not directing.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. Yeah. Anybody else?
Well, I actually have a question.
Okay.
While we're waiting to get to him.
All right.
You've done a lot of music. Do you do a lot of live shows?
I've done. Yeah.
And things that can go wrong often will go wrong.
Yeah.
Have you been in a live show and something just went like crazy wrong, and the show must go on, but
the craziest wrong I could think of is it's a little embarrassing, but I'll be honest with you. So that's that show that you were just talking about the director. Oh, I can talk about this. This is Broadway. Yeah, no. So in Greece, I had this thing about, if you're my understudy, sorry, but you're never going on. Okay, you're never going on. So no matter what condition I was in, I would make sure that I could do the show, except for this one time, and we were in Toronto, and I don't know whether it was the water or what that was different. Something got me, and I got this little dysentery thing going on, and I'm in the middle of a hand jive, born the hand jive, baby, and boom, it lets loose right on stage. So now I'm still dancing, and the floor is getting a little, and the people around me are like, "What is going on here?" You know, luckily I had the black pants on, you know, you know, and then I said to the understudy, "You're on, baby, for the second half." You know, yeah, that's it. But that's got to be the worst of all so far.
I would say,
You could say, you know,
a shitty situation.
my blue suede shoes weren't the same. You know what I mean? You know.
Changed color. All right, who had that question?
Hi, Greg. Good seeing you again.
Yeah, you too.
So going back to Greece, did you ever think about, did you try to get cast in the movie, or
Oh yeah,
was it
yeah. I
strictly
wanted
Travolta?
to. No, I definitely wanted to. Get
Okay.
in the movie.
And
Everybody
a
wanted to
separate
do it.
question. In that show with the truck, how was it working with the ladies?
The ladies were
ladies.
great. You know.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Thank you.
know,
Thank
they
you,
were good
Greg.
ladies. Yeah, but if you didn't have the right manager on Grease, you know, you weren't really getting in that movie. That was one thing that Jeff Conaway and John Travolta, they all had this Bob Lamont, who's a great, he's a great manager, powerful manager. So, I didn't have anything. I was just starting out. I didn't have any, nobody looking out for me like that yet. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
All right. Looks like we have a question back there.
Hi, Mr. Evigan. It's nice to meet you. I've been a big fan for a long time. I wanted to ask you, what's the thing that you're most proud of throughout your entire career?
Throughout my entire career?
Yes.
Probably having my kids and making it through it, I would say for sure. Yeah. Having 3 kids, raising them in Hollywood and having them turn out reasonably well. Yeah. Without a doubt. If you're talking about an individual project, I really had a great time in that one with the other father, and the kid. that was probably one of the best times I ever had. Yeah.
All right, I think
Yeah.
I saw a question way back there. And let's say, right there.
Do you have like a dream project that you haven't done yet?
Oh yeah, definitely. I'm working on it right now because my whole life I've put a lot into the acting and I love it. And but music has always been really on my mind, and just putting together a company where I can get all the music out that I've done, and so that's kind of my dream project. And then working with other artists that are singers that I can put out the songs with them, and have them run it through the company that I produce, that I've got, So that's like a dream project right there. And a couple projects, by the way, in the acting field, a series that I've got an idea for. We shot a pilot, and we'll see about that. Right now everybody's on strike, so I don't know what we're gonna do now, but for a while. But yeah, never stop dreaming, man, ever.
All right, I believe we had a question up here. Here comes Tom with the mic.
What was your first convention like?
My first what? Convention. Oh, convention. Well, I never knew what to expect on the first convention, so I was a little more jittery. But I think the first actual convention was a long time ago. Probably I think it was a car show. I'm pretty sure it was a car show in Detroit. I think it was in Detroit, yeah. But it wasn't the same type of thing. There was no Q&A or anything like that. I don't remember any of that, but it's good. It's good to be here. Thanks. Thank you. Appreciate that.
All right.
Appreciate that.
And we have a question
You got one
back
right
there.
You're probably the wrong person to ask, but why do we not have BJ and the Bear streaming on DVD or Blu-ray? You can get it bootleg, but not an actual copy.
Well, I really don't know the answer to that, to tell you the truth. But I heard a lot of different things about that show or something with that chimp and that truck. There was a show with a chimp and a truck, right?
Yeah. I think you might have
Right.
been on it.
Yeah, that.
It's probably a
I
distribution
heard something about
rights.
the soundtrack.
Ooh.
I heard something about they have problems with the synchronization rights on soundtracks and things like that once in a while. So could be something like that, But I'm not sure. Sorry, I'm the wrong person to ask. You were right about that. Yeah, I know. I feel the same way. Yeah.
Be nice to watch that show with the chimp in the truck.
Yeah.
So I have a quick question. Now, I obviously didn't quite have to audition for that futuristic show with the guy from space, but you've probably been on a few auditions. Can you recall one that stands out in your mind as kind of weird or just crazy? Or
Well, yeah, one immediately pops up in my mind, and it was a great lesson for me, and it's a great lesson for any actor that's ever trying this, about confidence and things like that. And so I go into this audition, and and I know I got this part down. I know I'm right for the part. I know I got the lines down. I'm not worrying about any of that. I go in, I do the audition. The guy looks at me. It's like, that was really good. It's good, man. Really good. I said, thanks. It was really good. Really good. You're really right for this role. Thanks. And I said the stupidest thing you could say, which is, I can read it a different way if you want. Right? So the guy looks at me, he goes, don't reveal yourself, man. Don't reveal yourself. Thank you. So it stuck with me, obviously. And, it's a great, these are all great lessons. You go, the whole process of, everybody says, well, it's you get a job, it's easy. No, the hardest part about this entire business is learning how to audition. Not anymore. Now it's different. Now the whole thing is you self-tape yourself. You don't have to talk to anybody. You send it in, and you never hear from anybody. Or maybe you will, but it goes into cyberspace and it disappears. Gone. But the way it used to be, which was great, is you always had contact with the director, with the producer. You sat in a room with the writers. People got to see you. You got to talk to them, and that's how I always got the job. But this was one of those things where, I really wanted this thing, because it was a good role in a good movie, and it was one of those memorable things, learning experience, So
you didn't get it?
Yeah, I got it.
You did get it?
No,
okay.
I didn't get it. No. It was a nice thank you, though. Yeah.
You're so right for this. Yeah. You revealed yourself
Right.
too much.
I know.
You're talking about the truck. I got the truck story.
You what?
I got where you ran the truck and the bear.
To feed the bear?
I got the story.
Oh, you mean when he almost bit me? I mean, you mean in a certain situation where you could be in a truck?
Yeah.
You were dealing with an animal.
Yeah, I got it where I got the movie where you drove the truck and put bear in it.
Ah, okay.
I don't know how my brother-in-law did it, but he ordered it for me.
Oh, you got it then?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, good. All right. It's hard to find. Yeah.
Legally. Yeah. It's hard to find
That's
legally.
Yeah. Anybody else out there with a question?
Well,
here we got
one here.
Just real quick, Greg, to follow up
take
on
your
that
time.
question. Describe what that movie was that you didn't get.
Oh, I couldn't even tell you. I couldn't tell you now because the only thing that ever stuck in my mind because I've had, literally probably thousands of auditions, honestly, and for different things. And, the percentage of what you get could be maybe you get 3 or 5%. Maybe you get 3. That's pretty good average. But I have no idea. I couldn't tell you. I could just tell you what happened. The memorable part. Just like I don't remember all the lines. Like I'll memorize, thousands of lines, right? Thousands. They last for, the time you need them. Yeah.
So with the various roles, has there been a scene that's been in any of your roles that was very hard to get through, either because someone's making you laugh too much, or something was just or you just couldn't get the line? Have there been instances like that you can relate without mentioning the name of the show?
Yeah, I've been in shows where the worst thing that can happen to you, this is what I hate the most, is when if you go up on a line, So you go up on a line, the worst thing to hear is, all right, take 47. That's what you don't want to hear, right? And then when you hear it, you know that you're probably not going to get it in the next one, right? So that's rare. That's rare, But I did see a girl. I was working with a girl that on a movie, and she memorized her lines in a weird way. And the only way I know this is because I was sharing a dressing room with her because we were working in a house. So she left her paperwork there. And I saw that she would write the first 4 words of a line, and then she left it to herself to finish. As if she was really going to remember the rest of the line every time. So that was her process. So, I think we spent an extra day because of this girl. She could not get any of her lines. She just kept on doing, and she went up. Sure enough, on every time she got to the middle of a line, she went up. So there's a whole process in memorization. There's a lot of different ones, I'm sure, but there's pretty good ones. But you do it by rote. I do it by rote, but I don't know if that answers the question.
Read. So we got another question back there.
Hi. I hear that sometimes working with animals can be difficult. Do you have any fun stories about maybe if that happened one time?
Sure do. Yeah. One of my favorite ones is when one of the scripts that we had for that show, whatever it was, they said, okay, well, listen, so here's what has to happen. The chimp has to be on an elephant. And the tiger comes out in front of the chimp on the elephant. And the trainer goes, wait a minute, whoa. First of all, the two main animals that are the arch enemy of a chimp is an elephant and a tiger. And you're going to put them in the same scene? And they said, well, that's what we want. That's what we need for the scene. So now we're trying to figure out, okay, how is this going to happen? And I remember the trainer, he's like, well, here's what we could do this. We could strap to the chimp to the elephant. We'll strap him to the elephant, and then we'll blindfold him. And we'll put a string on the end of it. And as long as we get the shot, as soon as we get him out there in the field, we'll pull the string, and he'll see the thing, and they'll get the shot. So, okay, whatever you think, Marv. Whatever you think. Marvin was his name. And so, okay, so it's the big day. We get the chimp strapped to the elephant, and he's on the elephant like, he's screaming his head off. He's like, I said, oh, come on, guys, this is terrible. And he said, well, we're just going to get the shot. So you get the whole thing lined up, and he's like a buck. He's like he's on a bucking bronco, And they get him out to the middle of the field, and he says, all right, and action. Boom, they pull the thing off, the string off, and the chimp sees the tiger come across, breaks out of the thing, strapped into the thing, hits the ground, runs across the field, runs up there was a whole line, probably for a mile, of eucalyptus trees, and he hits that eucalyptus tree right to the top. Now he's hanging at the top like this. Everybody's over there, trying to, like, bananas, nuts, fruit, trying to get him out of the tree. So I think we hung up the production, because our production was costing about, I don't know, at least $40,000 a day at the time, which is pretty good. And finally, it was pretty sad, but he was all right. The trainer had a pop gun, like a cork gun, and the chimp hated the cork gun. So, and this chimp is way up there. I mean, he's up there. Nobody's going up there, He holds up the gun. Sam, let's go. And then as soon as Sam saw that gun, he's freaking out in the top of the tree, and he slips because he's not a pro chimp, He's not a real tree climber, And he trips, comes down through the branches. All the branches are breaking. You see him coming down, and he lands on a barbed wire fence and hits the ground. And he was fine. They're tough. And that was it. That was probably one of the worst I can remember. But he was hugging me. He was holding me. I remember like a baby, like a baby. But now, what was the question again? What was the worst?
Something about you almost got bit.
Oh yeah. No, I got bit plenty of times. He didn't like to work after 6 o'clock. That was it. Boom.
Was he in the union?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's like, 6 o'clock.
They got a strong union, let me tell you. They got a strong union.
All right, any other questions out there? Oh, we have one over here.
Hey, Greg, thank you for doing this. I'm curious, excuse me, are you able to watch yourself on anything you've done and actually sit down and enjoy it? Or when you watch, if you watch, do you sit and critique yourself? How do you handle seeing yourself on television?
Thank you for the great question. Because that's one thing that haunted me. I never wanted to watch myself because when I was taking the workshops that I took, that was the one thing that we were always working against. Like, just be in the moment. It doesn't matter what happens in the moment. There's no planning. You just do what comes to you. You react to the other actor. It's all about acting and reacting. Don't ever look in the mirror. No, none of that stuff, right? So, but my son, I'm bringing him into this for a reason because he was the direct opposite for me growing up. He had the bands, and he would watch them every time they played. He recorded it. He watched those tapes, and I always think, what the hell's wrong with him? He's always watching himself, And what he was doing was he was taking away the things he never wanted to do again, right? So for me, I never watched anything until later, and I wish I did because there's a lot of habits that I had, like they weren't good habits, and so I felt like once I started watching myself and critiquing myself, then I could make the changes that I needed to make, So the answer is I didn't then, wish I did, and I do now. So yeah, thanks for that question, man.
That was very good. Any other questions out here? So while Tom's looking for, we have a question back there. I do have a quick question, though. If you couldn't be in the entertainment business, what do you think you'd be today?
If I couldn't be in the entertainment business?
Yeah, no acting, no music. What would you be today, other than depressed?
Yeah, right. Maybe space. I mean, I just love the whole.
I could see him as an astronaut. Yeah. Could you guys?
That was my dream, as when I was a kid. That's what I always wanted to be. Yeah.
Good answer. All right, we have the question over here.
Favorite role?
Favorite role. Thank you. Favorite role. Can't name it. Sorry. But I can tell you one thing. He was with another father and a kid. Yeah. Yeah. Thanks. But when it comes to dramatic, I would say there was a movie I did where I played a rogue cop. I don't know if anybody ever saw it, but it was. I can't name any titles, can I? No titles. All right. I was a rogue cop.
Can you can tell us the year and we can look on IMDb. A lady by the name of Lori Loughlin.
I remember her. She might have been in it. Yeah.
All right. IMDb, you can find it that way, right? All right. I think we have time for one more question. So who's going to be the brave soul? One question going once. You don't want me to ask a question.
It's going to be up to you, man.
Okay. Oh, no. We have a brave soul right there. So.
So you've been in the business for a number of years, and somehow you still look exactly the same. Do you have a secret?
Thank you. First of all. I don't know. Try to eat good food. I think mom and dad, they got some good genetics, maybe. But thanks, man. Appreciate that. Yeah.
Well,
I eat greens every morning. I take greens. Maybe. I don't know, man. I don't know.
Well, Greg, thank you so much for spending this time with us. Right. Big round of applause.
Thank you, guys.
Visit him at his table.
Thanks for all the great questions, you guys. It makes it nice. Yeah.
This is Ross Marquand, and you are watching Fandom Spotlight, which is awesome. So like, share, and subscribe. Oh, and have fun and follow your fandom.